Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Trishita Reads. I have finally put lights in my bookshelf. Let me know how it is looking. Personally, I am liking it a lot. Coming to today's video, I will be reading all my Kindle Unlimited books that are in my TBR in 48 hours. So I have 4 Kindle Unlimited books in my TBR, and these books are The Girl Who Was Taken by Charlie Donley. I will put the picture here. The Law of Attraction by Laura Carter. A Caller's Game by J.D. Barker. And the book that I am most excited about in this lot, that is The Teacher by Frida McFadden. I am a person who cannot do a 24-hour reading challenge straight, so I cannot even imagine doing a 48-hour reading challenge straight. So the challenge will be on a timer basis. I will start the timer when I will start reading, and I will stop the timer when I will stop reading. It's very simple to understand. I made a really bad decision in the month of July by selecting 15 books because June was an amazing month with respect to reading, and on the basis of that, I selected 15 books in July. So I just want to indulge myself in different reading challenges throughout this month so that I can finish at least 10 books before July ends. One thing that I do feel before starting this video is it might be an easy challenge for me because 3 of them are thrillers and one is a romance novel. Generally, thrillers are very fast reads, and when it comes to romance, it is pretty easy to navigate. So I am not looking forward to using my brain much unless the thriller is something that will make my mind blow away. So today is Sunday. I will be starting the challenge today itself, and let's see how many days I take to finish 48 hours of reading. I am a bit confused when it comes to selecting the first book because I know that I will be enjoying Frida McFadden's work because I have read her work before and loved it, but I have not read any works by J.D. Barker or Charlie Donley. So I don't know what to expect from these books, but also I don't want to start this challenge with a book that has potential of disappointing me. So I am a bit confused. I don't want to read the romance novel now because I know that I will be saturated with thrillers in the middle of the challenge, and I want to use the romance novel as a speed breaker while navigating through all these thrillers. I am genuinely confused between The Girl Who Was Taken and A Caller's Game. Okay, so I have decided. I have decided to start with A Girl Who Was Taken. I just opened this book to see the first sentence because first sentences do impact a lot. And before even the chapter begins, I have found 2 beautiful lines that I wanted to share with you guys. I once was lost, but now I am found, was blind, but now I see. The first line is even better. Trust me, the first line is even better. Listen to it. Darkness has forever been part of her. She looked for it and flirted with it, became quaint with it and charmed it in a way foreign to most. I will read at least 100 pages before telling you guys the introductory story or the blurb because I don't want to read the blurb. Blurbs can be very misleading. You can trust on me. This girlie won't give you any spoilers. So let's start reading. I am already very intrigued. The time is 11:37. I will read for a while before I go shower and have lunch. But genuinely, I am so excited to start a book on my Kindle because it has been a long time that I have read anything on my Kindle, and changing formats do help a lot when it comes to reading fast. So let's start with the challenge. Hi guys, I just showered and had lunch. I am currently at 20% into the book and I am really liking this book so far. The book has short chapters, it is from multiple POVs, plus there are multiple timelines also. Let's jump right back into the book and start reading. guys, it is currently 10:29 and I have read for 4 hours. I found this very aesthetic looking countdown clock thingy on internet and I am loving it since. I am currently 50% into the book. So let me tell you the story of the book first. So the backstory of this book concerns the missing of two high school girls named Nicole Cutty and Megan McDonald. These two girls were high school seniors and they got missing from a beach party in Emerson Bay, North Carolina. Obviously, the police starts searching, but everything goes in vain. The hope is almost lost. However, Megan was lucky enough. She escaped the bunker where she was kept in the woods. She instantly becomes a ray of hope for everyone who has either faced the same issues or has gone through it. She writes a novel, What Went Through in the Accident, and her experience of basically being kidnapped and what went through in her life. And people absolutely loved the book. Her book became an instant bestseller. But there is a dark side of this story. Nicole, who got kidnapped with her, is still missing. Her older sister Livia is a forensic expert and she expects to find Nicole's body someday just to get closure. And she gets a ray of hope. A body of a young man around 25 years old resurfaces into the water, and that young man is connected to Nicole's past. After Livia got to know about this, she started her own small investigation, digging things around, and she reaches out to Megan to know more about Nicole on the day both of them went missing. Other girls in the town have gone missing in the same way, somehow indicating that all of these cases are connected. So the twist is Megan knows more than she has put out in the book. Because of her trauma, she cannot completely remember the things that actually happened when she was kept captive, but she is constantly in touch with a psychiatrist who is trying to help her regain those memories. And as per to the flashes of memories she has recalled, there was something more monstrous than she remembers. So Megan and Livia team up together to dig deeper into the mystery, and once they start unfolding the mystery, they discover that true terror might lie in finding exactly what they have been looking for. Now, coming to how I am feeling about this book, I genuinely do not like Megan or Nicole, to be honest, but since it is a thriller, I do understand that the characters will be morally grey. I am really liking Livia as a person. The author has not shown much about Megan's life after her escape, but she has given a better light on Livia's life, on how she became a forensic expert and what are the gory extents a forensic expert has to see on a daily basis. And reading these things made me a little disturbed, but I guess I am accustomed to reading gory details, so I was not much bothered. I actually liked the fact that the author made it very natural for the readers to understand what a forensic expert goes through, what are the processes that are done during an autopsy, and seeing the love and regret Livia has for her sister Nicole kind of breaks my heart. Nicole's behavior during her senior year was very questionable. I guess there will be answers in the later parts of this book, how and why Nicole changed so much. But Livia, even though saw her sister transform in front of her eyes, she at that time didn't do anything. She thought of ignoring it, and when her sister went missing, she was the last person who got a call from her, but she did not pick up. That is her biggest regret. And coming to the writing of this book, it is very simple. The chapters are very short, and at the end of each chapter there is either one sentence or a few that is ending in a cliffhanger, and that is making me read the book more. How many days it will take me to finish 48 hours of reading is scaring me a lot, to be honest, but I don't have any work now. It is almost 11 and I am planning to read a lot before I go to sleep. I am partially insomniac. It is very difficult for me to go to sleep before 2:30 or 3. You can blame the education system for that. My student life ruined my sleeping cycle. For the past 5-6 years I am trying to repair it, but it is not happening and I have given up. So if you have any ideas of how to repair your sleep cycle, please let me know in the comments down below. I genuinely need some advices. Let's get back to reading. The time is 2:25 a.m. It is quite late at night, but I could not put this book down. The twist was really nice. I mean, the final revelation was really nice at the end. I did guess two possibilities, and one of the possibilities came true, which is nice because I like guessing things when it comes to thrillers, and I get a different kind of satisfaction when I guess correctly. So I did really like reading this book, and yes, I will definitely go and check other works by this author. The first half of the book was concentrating more on developing Livia's characteristics, but I got to know Megan's character more during the second half. My mindset towards Megan's character changed completely, and after the final twist happened, Megan has become my favorite character from this book. However, this book has kept me hanging. I don't know whether there is any sequel of this book or not, but I surely want to know what will happen because this story doesn't end completely. If this book doesn't have any sequel, then I guess the author has left the ending to the reader's imagination. There are a few possibilities that could have happened, but since this is a spoiler free video, I won't discuss it here. And coming to my thoughts on the book, first of all, I did really like the forensic explanations that have been done in this book. That really got me hooked into the story. But if you are a person who does not like reading more about medical science or forensics, this book will maybe derail you sometimes. But I personally loved the forensic parts. Second thing, coming to the main part that makes a thriller is the revelation, the main revelation, and I could guess the revelation. So I don't know what place this thriller should be put in. There is another different satisfaction when you cannot guess the final revelation, and when you read it your mind simply blows away. So I am basically in a dilemma, keeping in fact that I did guess the final revelation. I will give this book 3.5 stars because there are better thrillers that I have read before. Now I will go sleep or try to. It is close to 3 a.m. in the morning. Coming to the reading hours I have done for today is close to 5.5 hours. If you can see the clock time, so I have 42 hours, 39 minutes, and 28 seconds to read. And tomorrow I want to start reading The Teacher by Frida McFadden. I'm really excited for that book. So, good night. Good afternoon, guys. It is the second day, and I have officially finished 8 hours of reading. And I have started The Teacher by Frida McFadden. I don't know whether you can see it properly, but I have started this book. I am currently at 11% into the story, chapter 7. I have guessed something about the ending, and I don't know whether that will be the same ending that will happen, but if it happens, I will be kind of disappointed, to be honest, because for me, Frida McFadden's books are always unpredictable. But if I am able to predict this one, uh, it is too soon, but let's see. Let me read the book for some time and I will tell you the story then. I'll go have some lunch now. Hopefully, in the afternoon, I don't fall asleep because I have to finish this book by today. I mean, it's my target of finishing this book by today. Let's see how it goes. Hello everyone. So it is 11:13 p.m. and I have finished 10 hours and 12 minutes of the total 48 hours of reading. I am at chapter 55, that is 68% of the book The Teacher by Frida McFadden, and let me tell you about the story of the book. So the story has dual POVs. One is from Eve's side and one is from Addie's side. So Eve is a math teacher at a local high school, and she basically has a perfect life with a very handsome husband, and her husband is also a teacher at the same school. He teaches English and his name is Nate. And on the other hand, there's this student called Addie who is 16 years old and basically is in class 11. She is a student at the same school in which Eve and Nate teach, but Addie comes with a dark past. So there is a rumor that happened during last year, and it is said that Addie had an affair with her previous teacher, who obviously was expelled after everything came out. But Addie claims that the teacher never ever had any bad intentions towards her. He didn't even touch her. Addie had a very traumatic childhood. Her father was alcoholic and abusive. Plus, she was not good at math. Her dream has always been to be a poet. Seeing her poor performance at school, her teacher offered to help her and give her tuitions after school. And that's how the rumor started that eventually destroyed the life of that teacher. When Evie joined school, the teacher was the first one to offer a hand of friendship, and he has been her mentor ever since. When Evie got to know about the rumors, she understood that there was more to the story than it was portrayed to the public eye. Addie, however, is a very morally dark character. People have a preconceived notion about Addie that she is an untrustworthy person, she is a liar, and she can hurt people. But nobody knows the real Addie, and the secrets that she has kept can really destroy her. And Addie will do anything to keep her secrets quiet. So that's the story of the book. I guessed a different ending at the starting of this book, and this book is directing towards a different ending. I have predicted something. Let's see how it goes. I am almost done with the book. I have only 30% left in the book, and I am planning to finish this book before I go to sleep. I finished The Teacher. It is almost 1 a.m. in the morning, and I am so happy that I found my 5-star read. After more than 1.5 months, I am so freaking happy that I ended up reading this book. The final twist, I was so freaking wrong. I was so freaking wrong with the final twist. This book was such a beautiful ride. Let me give you the trigger warnings because this book is not for everyone. This book will disturb you to your core because, point number one, this book has teacher-student relationship. This book has very disturbed characters, and you cannot root for one single character because every character in this book has done something that is morally very dark. Also, this book contains child taming and manipulation. So if you're a person who cannot read these kind of topics, do avoid this book. There are other books by Frida McFadden that you will absolutely enjoy. Leave this book. But if you are someone who can get past these trigger warnings, then I must tell you that this is the best book that I have read by Frida McFadden. I am so pumped up to read a new book, but I want to enjoy and savor this book before. I don't have to tell you how beautiful Frida McFadden's writing is. She writes popcorn thrillers. Her writing style is super easy to understand. The plot is intense, very fast paced, and a reader can definitely finish this book in one sitting. However, the best thing that I enjoyed in this book were the twists. I mean, the first half of the book was a little slow because I guess the author was trying to introduce all the characters to the readers, which is understandable. But the second half, and especially the last 15% of the story, was amazing. I mean, I couldn't believe that I was reading this book so freaking fast, especially the last 5 chapters. I was blown away. I so want to discuss this book with someone, and I'm feeling so sad that I cannot discuss this book with you guys because, in case of thrillers, spoilers is something that ruins a book, and I don't want to ruin the experience of this book for you guys. I highly recommend you to read this book. And there's one more thing that I wanted to share with you guys. This book was suggested to me by my boyfriend. He did not read this book, but he read the blurb, and he knows me so well that he suggested me this book. And I'm so freaking happy that I got this book as a recommendation, and I'm gonna give him a call and thank him for recommending this book. But I still have 2 more books to go. So I think I will be starting The Law of Attraction by Laura Carter now. I guess I will be reading the book till I fall asleep. I won't give you guys any update for today, but I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye. Hi guys, it is currently 7:18 p.m. and I have finally entered in the 20s range when it comes to the hours left for me to read. I have 28 hours left to finish all the books that I have picked for this TBR. I am currently at 70% into the story and I could not update you guys earlier because I am not feeling well and I was basically not in the mood of putting up a camera and shooting videos. So I took some time to read the book and enjoy the story. Plus, I am reading very slowly. I don't know why. I am really liking the characters of this book. I really am liking the mutual understanding and how maturely these two characters are handling all the situations that are happening in the book. And I want to savor this book so much because it has been a long time that I have read a good romance. By good, I mean very good because I am absolutely adoring this book. Let me tell you about the story of this book first. So, The Law of Attraction is the first book in Brits in Manhattan series. I guess it is a trilogy I have to see. The two main characters of this book are Drew Harrington and Becky Fletcher. Drew is a successful attorney in a very successful law firm in Manhattan, and Becky is a British patisserie chef who is working for a renowned restaurant in Manhattan only. Drew is a career oriented guy and he has only one mantra in life. He does not want any distractions from his work. He is through and through a workaholic person. Although he is a very charismatic man, a ladies' man, you can say, but he is very afraid of giving any kind of commitments to anyone. On the other hand, Becky has a passion for desserts. Yes, obviously, she is a patisserie chef, but she is very good at her work. I mean, she can transform any simple dessert to something very extraordinary using unique flavor combinations. But she has some dark past baggages that she has not moved on from, and that is the reason why she does not want to be in any kind of relationship or even be in a proximity of one. Drew has a reputation. He is arrogant, rude, and ignorant about all the others, and he only wants his job to be done first. His main goal is to become a partner in the law firm he is working in, but for that he needs votes. And because of his reputation, people are not by his side. So, to gain votes and impress his colleagues, he has to show more of his human side. On the other hand, Becky is new to Manhattan, even though she is not looking for any kind of love or romance in her life right now, but she is in desperate need of a friendly face in the new city. And God has plans for them. They accidentally meet at a bagel cart during breakfast time. They have very contrasting personalities, and that might be a boon or a bane for them. Their personalities might complement each other, or it can be an absolute disaster. This book is a enemies to friends to lovers romance, and this trope is so freaking exciting to read. I mean, it has been a long time that I have read a good romance book, and this book definitely has potential to finally impress me. The development of the bond between the two characters is shown so beautifully that I am really impressed. If you're a person who loves slow burn romances, then definitely pick this book up. As much as I am giggling at the banters between these two characters, I am also loving the portions where these two characters have started liking each other, but still both of them are in denial because of their own personal goals or pasts. I have only 30% left in this book, and I will be finishing this book, I guess, before I go to dinner because I am planning to sit only in one place and read for as much as I can. I am so happy that I am liking all the books that I am reading in this challenge, and yeah, I will be downloading more books from Kindle Unlimited because this book is not much hyped. I mean, I have not heard people talking about this book much. It was just an accidental find for me, and I am so grateful that I got this book. I downloaded this book, and I am loving reading this book. So I will update you guys once I am done with the book today. Hi guys, it is 10:29 p.m. and I have finished reading The Law of Attraction by Laura Carter and coming to my final thoughts on The Law of Attraction. First of all, this book had so much to offer than I initially expected. I expected this book to be a normal rom-com, but oh my god, the characters are so well written. The story balances of two balancing tones, but also the book is serious and sobering. This book kept me engaged throughout, and I had so much to think about when I was reading this book. All in all, this book was very reflective. My most favorite part in this book are the characters. Throughout the story, the characters show so much growth, which is both surprising and satisfying. Speaking of surprises, the climatic confession scene and the resulting confrontation were completely unexpected, and it gave me a real emotional punch. It was so hard to control my tears when I was reading that portion, but I somehow managed to not cry. One thing that I found very unique in this book was the narrative was primarily from Drew's perspective, and there were small snippets from Becky's perspective, where in some parts some of her story was revealed and in some parts the plot was progressing. This strategy added depth and suspense in the story, and it made me stay glued to the book. The spark between Becky and Drew can be felt from the very beginning, I mean from their very first meet, and their witty banter was really funny to read about. Their banter definitely added a light-hearted touch to the story. But this book is not just about laughs. There is a beautiful balance between physical attraction and emotional connection between the two characters, making the romance more authentic. I will definitely be reading the other two books in this trilogy. Coming to the rating of this book, I am giving this book 4 stars. Now, I have only one book left, and it is A Collar's Game by J.D. Barker. I am skeptical to read this book because I started this book a while ago. I read around 10-12%, I guess, but I was not feeling the book that time, so I'm a bit skeptical whether I will like this book or not. But since I have time, I will start reading this book now, and I will read till the time I fall asleep. So I will update you guys tomorrow morning, and see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hello, it's a new day, and currently the time is 7:28, and I have finally come closer to the 24-hour mark. I cannot believe that I have read almost 3.5 books in 24 hours, which is really amazing. I did start reading A Collar's Game by J.D. Barker yesterday, but I could not read much because my health was not good and I was feeling very sleepy. So I did start this book in the morning, and I am currently 31% into the book. I am in chapter 27, and the book is definitely a slow burn. I am still getting used to this book's world. So it is, I guess, early for me to tell how I am feeling about this book, because for now, I do not care about the characters much. I do not care about the world much, because for me, this book is not something that will instantly grab you. This book definitely takes time, and I am hoping to like this book by the time I finish it. Coming to the story of the book, we meet Jordan Briggs, who is a controversial radio talk show host who has worked really hard to claw to the top of the broadcast world. She is fierce, she is unapologetic, and she always speaks her mind. One thing that she cannot digest is people controlling her. She never lets people to control her. But success always comes at a price. Her personal life is in shambles. Her marriage is broken. She has not talked to her mother for around 15 years, and she has distanced herself from everyone close to her. Her life is very chaotic, but her only ray of sunshine in her chaotic life is her 11-year-old daughter Charlotte. Charlotte is a very smart kid, and her humor is something that I am really liking in this book. Jordan's radio show broadcasts every morning, and every day a lot of people listen to the show as well as they call the radio show, and Jordan picks up a few calls, the ones that intrigue her at that point. One day, she picks up a call by someone who offers to play a game with her. Even though the producer of the show goes against her playing any such games on live radio, but Jordan makes up her mind. She finds this to be the best way to kickstart the morning traffic and she agrees to play the game. Live on the air with millions of audience, what starts as a quick short game becomes deadly very quickly. Events from Jordan's past life start resurfacing, forcing her to confront the consequences of her decisions. Jordan has to navigate a series of deadly challenges while keeping the listeners hooked and her daughter safe. This book is a dual POV book. One POV is obviously from Jordan's side, and the other POV is from Cole's side, who is a homicide detective who somehow gets involved in this situation and in that place. Now, I will buckle up and start reading because this book is really long. I have only read a little more than 100 pages and this book is 400 something pages long, so I need to read around 300 pages and my main goal is to finish this book by today. See you guys after I finish the book. Hi guys, I finally finished reading A Caller's Game by J.D. Barker. I got a little lazy. I was taking time out for myself because for the past few days I have not been feeling well. I am slowly recovering and I am feeling way better, so I am shooting the outro now. I finished 4 Kindle Unlimited books that were on my TBR in almost 26 hours and I will be stopping my 48-hour count here only. So I have around 21 hours, 13 minutes and 2 seconds left, which is a good sign because I never thought of reading such good books in this video. I will blindly recommend all of the books that I have read in this video to anyone who loves reading books. There is one positive sign. I have only 4 books left in my TBR and it is only July 20. So I am very hopeful of finishing all of these books in the month of July only. This is such a relief and I am really very proud of myself. So let me tell you what I felt about A Caller's Game. Even though Jordan is a brutal woman, she can do anything for the upliftment of her career, but inside she is also a human being. She loves and adores her daughter, and that was the most beautiful part I read in this book. I really loved reading about the mother-daughter relationship in this book. Even though the characters were flawed, but it is always very comforting to read a mother-daughter relationship. I really liked the concept of this book. This book had thrill, this book had homicide, this book had revenge, hostage, explosions, killing, and all the good elements you expect from a popcorn thriller. And by the end of the book, I was really satisfied with everything that happened in the story. As the story unfolds, you will start questioning everything. You will start questioning your morals. You cannot decide who to trust in this book, and you cannot even decide what is wrong and what is right, and why it is wrong and why it is right. And it absolutely blew my mind. The twists and turns of this book are expertly placed. At least I could not guess anything at all in this book, which was a really good sign. We get very short but in-depth chapters that make the readers understand and get connected to the characters on a deeper level, which was a very immersive experience for me. This book is actually very big. It is more than 400 pages, but it is also very big in terms of action. I can easily watch this book turn into a film and becoming an absolute blockbuster because it has all the elements to attract an audience. One thing you have to keep in mind before starting this book is it is a thriller. The characters will not be good in this book. There are characters who are morally dark and have done very questionable things in the past, and they are facing the consequences of their past in present in this book. So I really liked that revenge portion as well in this story. But if you ask me, my favorite character from this book has to be Cole. He was a actual nice human being through and through. Coming to the writing style of this book, it is very simple, very easy to understand. The chapters are really short, which did motivate me to continue with the story. J.D. Barker's wicked imagination and ability to puzzle me so many times in this book has definitely made me rate this book 4.5 stars. So if you are a person who loves reading action thrillers involving detectives, police, hostage, some good element of revenge, then please go and check this book out. I am telling you, you won't be regretting picking this book up. So we have come to the end of the video. I finished reading 4 books and I loved every single one of them. I finally found my 5-star read for July. This video was such a beautiful experience, from giggling on beautiful banters between the two main characters to blowing my mind about thinking of how morally dark characters can be. This video made me experience a mixed set of emotions that I will cherish for a long time. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if you like watching these kind of videos. Also, let me know if you have read any of these books and what are your thoughts about these books in the comments down below. Please subscribe to my channel because it really motivates me a lot to keep going and create more good content for you guys. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.